We're live?
We're back.
We're back.
They let us back in.
We're back. I need to take my mask off.
Oh my gosh.
Here
we are.
Here we are. Okay. Hi, welcome to Coffee with Casey. Usually a morning show. Today we're moving it to the afternoon.
2:20.
2:20.
Central time.
It's in the PM zone. This is amazing. We are here at Circle Cinema. Woo! For Sun Dance Festival, Film Festival 2021. Welcome. We have an incredible show for you. We have 3 members of the Fire in Little Africa team, Dr. View, Sneaks a Poet, and Benjamin Lindsey on, and we will get to them. But, we're going to do some music first. Connect
Who are
a little
you?
bit. My name is Casii
Why are you
Stephan.
even in Circle Cinema right now? I don't even know.
I just snuck in with my cat. Just like, I'm here, guys. Forget it. No, my name is Casii Stephan. I am a singer-songwriter here based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And when 2020/COVID hit, we pivoted over to doing this type of show. And
Look,
just
I'm
kind
here
of,
too.
yes, there's Amira. Amira is the producer, the brains behind this operation. So she is amazing. Amira Al-Jiboori, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, look, I got my name on there.
You did?
Oh my gosh, that's the first time. Or second time, I guess. Here we
You
are.
should.
I'm here.
So yeah, we just we started doing this show 2020, and we're keeping it through. We're just using it as a way to connect with people in Tulsa. We've interviewed business owners, we've done artists, we've done what else am I thinking of? What other category?
I mean, filmmakers, musicians,
yes,
restaurant owners, retail owners.
Right. We have done it. We've just wanting to see how everyone's doing, what everyone's working on, and just showing you a little bit more of what makes Tulsa so great. So that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
This isn't about being perfect. You will see, you might see some mistakes. We're live. This is actually live. This is the only
Legit
Beyond
live.
Film programming that is actually live.
That's
Everything
true.
else is a little
Pre-recorded.
pre-recorded, but this, you get it. Flaws and all. Here we are. So we're going to have some great conversation. I'm going to share a little bit more Fire Little Africa. We have a teaser trailer. I know.
Okay, that's good.
But let's start off with some music. Yeah, this song is called Without a Box. I wrote it when I first moved to Tulsa. I'm originally from Minnesota.
Minnesota, eh?
Don't you know? Yeah. And yeah, it's just about letting go and living life without a box. I keep looking over to you. People are like, why is she looking over there? Amira's over
I'm
here.
over here.
You can't really
Yeah,
see
there's lots
it.
of cameras. If you don't mind,
Yeah.
if you are live, chime in. Tell us who you are,
Yeah,
where
say
you're
hi.
from. Say hi.
We like
Share
giving
this on your
shout-outs.
timeline if you don't mind. So it's Saturday afternoon. I don't know what the Facebook algorithm does on Saturday afternoon. Does anybody else? Well, let's try to beat it.
Never done
Everybody share it, and hopefully it'll beat that algorithm.
And welcome to Sundance.
That's right, Sundance. Here we go.
Standing with my head 10 feet underwater, thinking everything I ever had was gone. Swimming just kept dragging me under, but I could breathe. Yeah, I could breathe. Ooh, well, it doesn't matter. If everything I had was lost, 'cause I'm willing to discover what is life without a box. Tell me, what is life without a box? The current had dragged me far from shore, to places I'd only dreamed before. But panicking made the journey harder. You lose your way. You lose your way. Ooh, well, it doesn't matter. If everything I had was lost, 'cause I to discover what is life without a box. Tell me what is life without a box. Take my feet, wind, carry me. Water, take my feet, wind, carry me.
Hey, Case.
Water. Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and stop.
Yeah.
Because we're getting a live video interruption, so it's not really happening right now. So
What happened?
I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this. And
Okay,
restart
we're
it.
stopping. We're starting. This is live. This is
So
it.
this is how this works.
This is how it
So
works.
just give me a second. I think I'm gonna just downgrade the quality, and I think I'll be able to get that to work. So that's gonna be our
We're
goal.
gonna start all over, like a brand new video.
Yeah, I mean
Wow.
it's
Where's that?
that's
cinema.
happening in the theater.
Wow.
So all right, we're trying this again.
Trying
Take
it again.
two.
Take two.
Sorry, everybody.
Part 2. Are we live?
We are live.
We are live. Part 2. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Like I said, we are live. Anything can happen, but thankfully we are.
Maybe you shouldn't have said that.
I'm sorry. I did it to the whole thing. It's going to be smooth sailing from here, y'all. It's going to be smooth sailing. So that was Without a Box. We're now transitioning to another song. It's going to be great. We're gonna do some more music. We're going to make sure everything is good.
We got a little echo in here. So we are Casii Stephan, and my name is Amira.
This is Amira. We are Coffee with Casey.
That's right.
And we are here live from Circle Cinema in the VIP area, and we are part of Sundance Film Festival 2021, y'all. We're here. It's amazing. Thankful that Tulsa is a satellite city and gets to be a part of this great event. Thankful for the opportunity, and we're going to have great conversation with Fire in Little Africa. But let's do some music. This is called Here Comes the Light. Words are buried in skin. Hands are deep and knows where she begins. It can be a long, long journey to ever see the light. It can be a cold, cold world. There can be long, long nights, followed by a dark, dark morning that keeps you away from light. Ooh, but you gotta let it go, even when your skin crawls. So these words will not define you. No, here comes light. Here comes light. Ooh, how the smiles can breathe. Skin that heals can speak. Cause in this long, long journey, it pays to see the light. Oh, the light. Ooh, it can be a cold, cold world. There can be long, long nights, followed by a dark, dark morning that keeps you away from the light. Ooh, but you gotta let it go, even when your skin crawls. So these words will not define you. No, here comes light. Ooh, here comes the light. Hey, here comes the light. Ooh, here comes the light. Hey, so breathe. Can't you just breathe, breathe? Can't you just breathe, breathe? Here in the light. Ooh, here in the light. Hey, so breathe, breathe. Can't you just breathe, breathe? Can't you just breathe, breathe? Here in the light. Ooh, here in the light. Here in the light. Oh, here in the light. It can be a cold, cold world. There can be long, long nights, followed by a dark, dark morning that keeps you away from the light. Ooh, but you gotta let it go, even when your skin crawls. So these words will not define you. No, here comes the light. Ooh, here comes the light. Hey, here comes the light. Ooh, here comes the light. Hey, so breathe, breathe. Can't you just breathe, breathe? Can't you just breathe, breathe? Here in the light.
All right.
There we go. We did it. We finished the song.
We did a song, hopefully. I'm still getting a little bit of weird
You got it?
vibes from my thing, yes.
What's the vibes? What's the vibes you getting?
The wrong color. I need a green color, and I have a yellow color. That's about all I know. We'll keep trying, but
Okay,
I
we're
just
gonna
think
keep
it might
going.
be a little
Welcome.
pulling too much.
Coffee with Casey. We are here. We are here live at Circle Cinema. Okay, well, I'll just keep going, and you just keep testing.
Yep,
That's
just
how
kind
this
of
is
keep
gonna work.
watching, and if it keeps breaking up, we'll know.
All right. That was called Here Comes the Light. That's a new song. It's actually coming out next Friday. Super excited about that. So, yeah. All right, let's do a cover. I'm going to do a little Foo Fighters. Hope that's okay. I'm a one-way motorway. I'm the one that drives away and follows you back home. 'Cause I'm a street light shining. I'm a white light blind and bright, burning off and on. 'Cause it's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these you give and give again. And it's times like these you learn to love again. And it's times like these, time and time again. 'Cause I'm a new day rising. I'm a brand new sky that hangs stars upon tonight. And I'm a little divided. Do I stay or run away and leave it all behind? 'Cause it's times like these you learn to live again. And it's times like these you give and give again. And it's times like these you learn to love again. And it's times like these, time and time again. It's times like these, time and time again. 'Cause it's times like these you learn to live again. And it's times like these you give and give again. And it's times like these you learn to love times like these, time and time again. 'Cause I'm a new day rising. I'm a brand new sky that hangs stars upon tonight.
We're okay so far.
We're good.
We're good.
So we're good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
We're good. Whew. Well, guys, thank you for staying tuned. How's everyone doing out there? Saturday afternoon? We good? I'm going to keep moving forward.
Yeah, just keep moving forward.
Just keep moving forward.
I
Here we
just
go.
think it's a lot. We're asking it a lot because of all the cameras and the Wi-Fi. So we're just going to keep moving, but we may have some hiccups. So I apologize in advance.
All right, we're going to keep. All right, guys, are you ready? Who's ready? Who's ready? I'm excited. Okay, all right, here we go. So, Fire in Little Africa is a project like anything you've seen or heard before. It's an album, documentary, podcast, and curriculum dedicating to telling the story of Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. From Black Wall Street before 1921 to 1921 and now today. Through the words of rappers and singers and the art of musicians and visual artists. This is more than just a history lesson. This is a declaration that Black Wall Street is still here and it's something to say. So ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome to Coffee with Casey, Dr. View, Sneak to Poet, and Benjamin Lindsey. Woo!
Appreciate it.
Hello.
Glad to be here.
Oh man, I'm so glad to have you here. Sundance Film Festival, how y'all doing?
This is dope.
Awesome.
This is dope.
This is crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're here in Tulsa. We're here at this. Like you're currently in the middle. Like this isn't fully finished, right? Like we are towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end.
Yeah,
We're seeing the
Finish
light.
line.
absolutely.
We're seeing the light,
Yeah.
but we are in. So we're gonna get like some behind the scenes stuff. So why don't we start off with like each of you will just go down the row and each of you introduce yourself, your role in the project, and how you got involved. So Dr. View, let's start with you.
Yeah, so Dr. View, a.k.a. Dr. Stevie Johnson, executive producer for Fire in Little Africa. I manage and oversee all the entities of the documentary, the album, the curriculum, and the podcast. I'm from Longview, Texas. That's where the View comes from, Dr. View. Yeah, I'm the manager of education and diversity outreach for the Woody Guthrie and Bob Dylan Center. And so, yeah, I've had my hands in a lot of different things, just being at the studio, being part of the curriculum team, talking to Ben and Sneak, and shout out to Paige and Chris Williams with the documentary. And then, yeah, shout out to Chris Davis with the podcast. So, but yeah, that's my role. I'm all encompassing in
And
a
you
sense.
were the idea guy behind this. Like you were like.
Yeah, I was part of it. I think I got it from the ancestors, so I don't want to take full credit for
Okay,
it. So,
okay.
but yeah, I'm just playing my role as facilitator,
Okay.
as point guard. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sneak.
Yeah, Sneak the Poet, a.k.a. Keith Daniels. I'm a filmmaker, documentarian, also an artist on the Fila Project as well, but also, rapper, poet, just overall creative director. And, I kind of just fell into this position, kind of like my name just kind of snuck in. And it was all divine timing. And was part of the documentary crew, so we got that part, and was fortunate enough to actually participate in, recording music on that weekend, and just been enjoying the process this whole time. I'm also the lead of the content team as well,
Okay.
for Fire in Little Africa. So I'm just kind of playing many parts,
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, Benjamin.
I'm Benjamin Lindsey from Memphis, Tennessee. I came all the way over here to Tulsa for ORU, what brings everybody to Tulsa. And it was one of those things that I left my corporate company to start out to do documentaries. And Fila was the project that started it off for me. Mm-hmm. And so it's crazy to see now, like, as we're almost to this finish line, that we got something special on our hands. And this is exactly like the vision that we set out to do for me, is like, let's create something awesome. Mm-hmm. And we're there now.
That's amazing. Now, you have a little bit from our conversation, like, you had a really cool story where, like, you lost your job and this was, like, right here, and it was, like, again, the divine, like, feels like it was just Chris Davis called you, and it was like, this is it. I'm going from one thing to the next. This is just lined up, right?
Yeah, I mean, to go into a little bit more detail, it's like, all right, I left my corporate job to focus on documentaries. Like, I put all my efforts into it, and it turned out to be something decent. It didn't turn out to be all that I expected, but I was like, all right, hey, let's get a job, you know, like get back to it, like get your money stacked back up, and documentary is gonna come back around. I didn't know that this project was gonna come at the same timing of COVID hitting,
Right.
which honestly was a blessing because now it's like all my time was devoted to this documentary. It was no, hey, let's do the job and documentary. It's only the documentary, and I think that's where God was like, you tried to do the job thing, I'm sending you this way.
I got something better for you. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, so Dr. View, can you give us like just an overall vision, like the start from the vision, because you were here from the beginning to, I mean, you're still a part of it, but I think what we'd like to cover is up until filming, like up until those 5 days in that everything, like the overall vision, like, and then also just the fourth, like there's 4 different things going on.
Absolutely.
How did that all come to fruition?
Oh, I mean, I think we were just trying to be intentional about meeting people where they're at. There's so many different mediums of people receiving content. So it really started January of 2019 when I watched Revenge of the Dreamers 3 documentary. J. Cole and his label galvanized like over 120, 30 artists. They recorded a project in 10 days. And I was literally writing my dissertation at the same time, watching this, and I'm just like, my dissertation is in the form of a hip-hop album, so I was like, if there's any way that, you know, I can do something like that on that scale, you know, my mom always said, be careful what you ask for. So I got introduced, shout out to Brandon Odom, to my future bosses, Stanton Doyle and Steve Higgins, who oversee the American Song Archives, which houses the Woody Guthrie and the Bob Dylan Center. And they told me about this position, Manager of Education, University Outreach. And, you know, as they were exploring, you know, the concepts, the sensibilities of Woody Guthrie and Bob Dylan, all I could think about was Greenwood and the possibility of galvanizing some artists similar to what Dreamville did, but commemorating Black Wall Street. And so they provided me the space, the opportunity to do that. And when I moved here in Tulsa in August of 2019, the first person that I talked to was Steph Simon. He's the ambassador, he's the leader, and I let him know that I wanted to, you know, get out the way and allow you all to create something magical. And it didn't start off that way. It was kind of like, who are you to come to Tulsa and tell us? Like,
Tulsa has that mindset.
Absolutely.
They do, yeah.
But I think he recognized how serious I was, and how I really wanted to put the town in a position to truly be successful. And so from the time I came in August of 2019, probably until the end of that year, myself, Steph Simon, St. Dominic, Dowtone, and Chris Davis, as well as Trey Thaxton and Ben Lindsey, we met in Hominy, Oklahoma. We had a 2-day retreat, and we really just talked about the artists that not necessarily are the greatest talent. Obviously, that's important, but it's like who truly like symbolizes what Black Wall Street represents. And so we really just started putting our heads together, putting folks together, and not only just Tulsa artists, but Oklahoma City, Lawton. We wanted this to be a proclamation of Oklahoma talent. And so from there, we picked the artists, we invited them, we had information sessions at the Woody Guthrie Center, probably January of 2020, and went through all the logistics, the paperwork, all that stuff. People started to ask questions, are we going to be censored?
Yeah.
And it was a lot of questions just about, like,
Are they censored?
Yeah.
I actually have that question.
No, they're not.
They're not?
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely
awesome.
not.
Awesome.
I mean, this is hip hop. Like, how can you censor hip hop?
Yes. No,
so-
you can't. Yeah, no.
So we had information sessions, and you know, we had a great relationship with the Greenwood Cultural Center.
Yep.
Shout out to Michelle Brown and Francis there, as well as you know, recording at the Skyline Mansion, which formerly is known as the Brady Mansion. So we were just really intentional about the spaces that we use, and obviously those aren't recording spaces.
No, they're not.
We brought in studio equipment. So literally, we made something out of nothing. We invited those 60 artists, and we recorded 143 songs in those 5 days.
It's insane.
It was some dope vibes. I'm sure we're going to talk about that in a sec. But literally, that was the last weekend where like the last social interaction. Like the pandemic hit.
Yes.
Like right after that recording, I actually got phone calls that week leading up, like, "Hey, are we still doing this?" And I was like, "If we don't do it this week, like Fire in Little Africa, it's not gonna happen." So we recorded the project in March 12th through the 16th of last year. Pandemic hit, and we just really been grinding it out during a pandemic, like just being really intentional. So the stuff that you will see, the trailer, the photos, everything is just a testament of just the hard work, but also like we are the new Black Wall Street, and we recognize the ancestral, like spiritual, like work that's happening within us, like to really push this project out. So.
So can you speak a little bit to the purpose of the locations? Because just in case like people, I just want to,
Sure.
for people not familiar with Tulsa,
Absolutely.
like why are these locations so important?
I mean, it's the Greenwood Cultural Center. It's on Greenwood. It's in historic Greenwood. So we wanted just to maximize like the criticality of being intentional about space and place. I think a lot of people theorize like these concepts of space and place, and we actually like took it and reimagined, like we actually made it happen. I mean, with the Skyline Mansion in particular, used to be called Brady Mansion. Brady was a member of the KKK,
Yep.
was one of the ringleaders of the Tulsa Race Massacre. And for us to reclaim that space, shout out to Felix Jones, who is from Tulsa, Oklahoma, a former NFL player. He bought that house, bought the mansion, and it's it allowed artists like Steph Simon and others to utilize that space. And what's funny is the Greenwood Cultural Center was only open 4 out of the 5 days, so we only had one day that we didn't have a space. So we talked to Felix. He allowed us to utilize the space. And you could just kind of feel the energy in that room. You could tell that Brady didn't necessarily want us to be in that place.
Too bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, so it was crazy. Like chandeliers were like moving all kind of crazy.
man.
People were just talking about, man, it's a different type of energy. And to be honest, like, Tate Brady shot himself in the kitchen a few years later.
Yeah.
And for us to like actually record in that space, it's just. This is a different type of a project. So yeah, that's the whole benefit, like reclaiming space and like it's our time.
It feels like I heard Amanda Gorman said like her poem was like cleansing, and like that's I feel like what you did in that space, like you cleansed it.
We're undoing trauma,
Right.
Like we're undoing trauma for ourselves, but also for our ancestors. Like you got to think, 1921, they were all slaughtered and killed. Like they didn't have a chance to speak.
Right.
So like. I can only imagine the things that they're holding on to that now that we have this project and we're able to give to them, but also let the world know like we are the embodiment of them and we have something to say as well.
I'm tearing up.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
I was gonna also say, man, like even at like recording and filming at Greenwood, like they showcase historical photos from
Yes, I saw
before
that.
and during and after the massacre. So like even on the doc, like that's the background is these photos and these pictures of people. So it's like the ancestors was really there with us. And I think that added a lot for the artists that were there. That meant a lot to them. And you could tell through the music. So.
Do you think, I'm curious, was there, like, did the music have a different feel in the different locations with the music that was recorded there?
Yeah.
Was there, like, in Greenwood, was it a different feel than the music recorded at Skyline?
It was more like getting the anger out at the Skyline Mansion.
Right.
Like we were angry. Greenwood, it was just like we were placing the agency on black people, our ancestors, and on that Saturday, Skyline Mansion. I mean, we had TNT Wings. Shout out TNT Wings outside. We just was like, let's just make this like a pimp a butterfly-esque type of vibe where we're just really reclaiming like this white space that was really ours, like to begin with. So. Yeah, it was a lot of anger. You could just tell that people were really wrestling with a lot of things and like wanting to get it out. And yeah, you would definitely. I think when you listen to the album too, you will be like, "Yep, that was the one in
That
at
was
the Skyline
Skyline.
Mansion."
This is Greenwood.
Absolutely.
This is okay.
Absolutely.
A lot of emotion for sure.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
Absolutely.
I can only imagine. So, Benjamin, let's go to you.
Yes, ma'am.
You have 5 days. We have over 60 artists. I mean, there's music going on in countless different rooms, right? how do you, as the documentarian, and Sneak obviously, interject if you want to, but how do you, as a documentarian, plan to capture all of that? Because that's not like, it's not a scripted thing where you're like, all right, at 3 p.m. we're going to be in this location and we're going to film this, and you also don't know which room is going to be like full of inspiration, and maybe which room maybe is struggling a little bit to find it, and you're like, how do you?
Yeah, and a little bit is planning. How can I plan? We had a schedule of all the things that was going to be going on throughout the week. So I took and said, hey, I got 2 people on my team with me, Keith and Pay, who was shooting with me. Where do we need to be? Where do we need to be to capture everything that this documentary is going to hold? I mean, we have the history side of it. We have the music side, which is the hugest side of anything. And then we also have people telling different narratives of, we have silhouettes inside of here talking about what's happening on Greenwood now. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it was like, all right, let's just go into it and experience it. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like as a documentarian, I want to showcase something that other people can also feel through this. And through my eyes, through Keith's eyes, through Paid eyes, I want you to be there. Right. Not just, hey, this is like how we're going to shoot it very nice, but I want you to be there and actually experience the music, experience the creation of the music through what we felt. And I think what we felt was something special. So for me, I'm going to record all the time. Whenever we're in the studio, let's record all the time. Because we don't know what moment we're capturing. Because once we're in there, for me especially, music is being made all the time. Every song sounds phenomenal. Everybody's working together. You have the perfect scenery for a videographer, a cinematographer to come in and capture something that's real and authentic. And I think for me, it's like, hey, we're not going in with a set plan, but we're going to capture what's really occurring right now. Let's capture the people actually making the beats right now. Let's capture people talking to each other about the art. Because we don't know exactly what's going to be the one thing that's going to make this documentary. But I think as we were going through the days, we started to say, hey, Keith, what did you find over here?
Yeah, it really came, I'm sorry, so it really came down to, honestly, like, the process is trust. Because it really wasn't much of a game plan for sure. Like, it was more of like, okay, Paid, you gonna get this room, or we just gonna kind of float. And so sometimes it would be like we'll end up in the same room capturing the same thing from like different angles. It was really more of just intuition and vibes. Like, it'll be some rooms where it's like this is like a hot room, they getting live and hype, and then you might have a room where it's just an artist and a producer, and they're really just honing in on something. Or, there's a space where you got producers are just making beats, and you got another space where it's a choir of people working on a track for 2 hours, and you got in here where you see one dude in every room because he's just laying verses everywhere. So it's like,
okay, who was that person? Because I did watch the J. Cole documentary, which
Thomas Who.
Yeah,
Thomas it was actually
and
Thomas Who.
They did have this one guy they mentioned. I forget his name, and I apologize.
Grand National was everywhere.
Yeah, he was on every single. So you had that one. You had
absolutely,
that.
Absolutely. I want to add to that. I would call it the epistemology of listening. Like, we talk about this, like, sacred political act of trust, where we're trusting like our own intuition and discernment, but also knowing that like whatever we are recording, like meaning will be made of it. So it's just like the process of them making the albums, like recording 143 songs. Something's gonna be like made out of this. So it was just really organic, just like, and more than anything, enjoy the experience. Like, this was literally the last time, like, from a social interaction piece, like, have fun, be present. I think the biggest takeaway I took was when an artist said to me, I feel like a rapper today. I feel like a rapper this weekend, because we don't get these type of moments where we're all together in the same place and, being able to work creatively with each other. So, yeah, it was definitely like this sacred, like, political act of trust that we were, like, developing as the weekend progressed.
people were excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's magical.
Yes, and Damien Shade, I remember him saying it was this magical experience.
Shout out to Damien Shade.
I mean, what a great guy.
Yeah, he's so talented.
Just
Shout out to Damien.
Damien, we love Damien. Who doesn't love Damien?
My first time seeing him was performing live, and it was just like,
I think Damien's a prime example of you know, the artist and the activist. Like a lot of people try to split the two, and I think we really embody both the artist and activist mindset, and not just Damien, but I think just collectively as a group, like we do that very well. So yeah.
Yeah.
There's a side of his head in that picture.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm
There
trying
we
to find a
go.
better one, but might be all I
medicine.
have.
Damien was getting wild on the microphone.
Was he?
man. He has some great tracks. Every single time, Damien has a different energy, and he just lets it out.
He's got the singer-songwriter side, right? And
Yeah.
then he's got this the hip hop side,
And going, and that's another thing, like finding out a lot about these artists. There's certain artists who've been doing music, whose family is known for doing music, and have, they're generational. And, you know, like Malachi's, and he's been doing music since he was 2. And it's like, we have artists of that caliber that all came in for this one weekend. So it was, we were dealing with that type of high level of
I
people.
think that's
so
Malachi. Is that right? Is that the back of
that's
my
that is
Malachi.
Malachi. Yeah. Shout out to Malachi. That's one of the
Shout out
most
to Amira.
talented.
I see
know,
you.
right?
In the kitchen.
One of, Tay Brady's kitchen. Yeah. Formerly.
Malachi
I know
is
Malachi.
one of the
We're
best
friends.
drummers in
Yeah,
Tulsa.
he
like
is.
in the pocket every single time, and then he's got that smile. Gotcha.
Yeah. And we had many people like that, like O'Malley, who just would go
Yes.
from singing to picking up the saxophone.
I know.
And it's just like,
It was a full-on collaboration.
The talent in that.
Even the security guard got on the
Yeah.
security guard got on the record too. So yeah,
I do
It
not
was
know
just-
which one he is. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's
I'm
all
sorry.
good. It's all good. But again, it just talks about the synergy. Like you
Yeah.
just, if you were just there, it was just something where it was so contagious. Like truly was contagious, and yeah, it was just something I would never ever forget. Like ever.
I mean,
Never.
it's not a project that comes around every year. This is a project that is unique and like probably once a generation type project.
Absolutely. This is a
And-
time capsule.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And 5 days. Like, I mean, I was watching the J. Cole documentary because you guys referenced it, and I wanted to help me get my brain wrapped around even more. But that was 10 days.
10 days.
You guys did it in 5 days.
yeah.
Budget, but we had to do it in 5. budget for real, like 5 days. And the beauty of it is that we invited hip hop journalists and scholars to witness the album, like the creation of the album.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was a true, just a beautiful body of work that was developed in those 5 days.
Man.
Yeah, it was collaboration at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sneak, you were running camera and recording at the same time.
Yeah,
Was that-
something like that. Yeah.
And then you were executive and recording, and Steph Simon was executive and recording. So you guys had
Yeah.
to wear multiple hats during this as well. Can you
Yeah.
guys talk about that? Like what
for
that
it.
was like?
Yeah, it was. So me and Paid was in a similar situation. Who shout out to Paid, who's another shooter. We're both, rappers and filmmakers. So first few days is like we're straight filmmaker mode. It's capturing everything. I'm trying to tune out the music side. Just really.
It's difficult.
Yeah,
Try not
it's
to
tough.
sit
Yeah.
It's
Try
tough.
not to set the camera down and
It's tough because you walk in a room, you hear a beat, and then you like, I can eat that beat right there. You know what I mean? But it's like, nah, I'm gonna keep recording because I want to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
And I think after like day 2, we was at the mansion. I know for me, it was just one of those where I was like, it's like maybe 2, 3 a.m. and I'm like, I just walk into a room and I hear a beat. And I'm like, you know what, man? Let me put this camera down and just let me get the verse out. And I remember my first verse just being real short and real like, in a sense, like getting the nerves out. And then after that, it was just like, okay, where can I sneak my time in every day to get this in? And ended up, I think, recording like 4 or 5 songs, getting on 4 or 5 songs. So it was just one of those where it's like when the itch get too big, it was like,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
I got to get on it. I got to get on it.
you got your voice on there. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
4 or 5.
I was one of the producers, but I was a lot of management stuff I had to do leading up to the weekend. I think a month out before we recorded, we gave them over 100 beats, like the artists, so that they could listen to.
Wow.
Some were like, "Yo, I got some stuff I want to write. I already
Right.
know." Some was like, "I just want to let it be organic." I didn't have time to make beats, so it was literally at the mansion
So
when I
you
made
made-
my first beat.
Yeah, and we got that recorded too.
And got it recorded. So yeah, it was just one of those things where like you didn't allow your ego to get in the way. Like truly,
Yeah.
you wanted to create like in the moment, but it's
Yeah.
like it's gonna happen. Like just take your time, make sure everybody's good. Everybody has food, has water, any other extracurricular things, and then from there we can I can get into a space where I can sit down and have a moment for myself and process and speak to some ancestors and figure out how I need to create. And so once we did that, like the rest was history.
I will say,
Man.
Paid has one of my favorite verses.
Yeah.
And I think it's so cool how him being from that other world, seeing it from the video lens, how that added that perspective for him, and he was able to really capture that in his verse. And
Like,
one
I
of my
want to
favorites.
ask you to like say a little bit, but I don't want to like
Nah,
steal his
I
verse
don't
from him
I don't want
either.
to copy infringe on my guy. I don't want to
Yeah,
do him
yeah,
justice.
right.
But
it was definitely the verse that we needed
Yeah.
for the song that it's on.
Okay.
Like, I'll just
Can you
say
give me
that.
the song title so like when I like comes out, I'm like, this is the song I need to.
can we?
North Tulsa got something to say.
Oh, it's
North-
that. Okay,
yeah,
so
North
North
Tulsa got
Tulsa, and that's what you guys mentioned was a theme that came out. North Tulsa got something to say.
Absolutely.
So, Sneak, can you talk about North Tulsa and why that is significant?
Well, a lot of the artists, including myself, are from North Tulsa, either live there directly or have family in North Tulsa. But North Tulsa has inspired us in a huge way. So with that, a lot of people, with having a lot of us from North Tulsa, it's just more of like, it doesn't matter like what street you were from or exactly what block you from. It's like, no, we're representing as a conglomerate. So it was just a pride in which we do have such a huge pride for North Tulsa. And we want to see it uplift and rebuild to when it was in 1921. And everybody had that mind state. So it's like, it feels like, especially in hip hop, everybody has their time to speak. You know, West Coast had their time, New York had their time, Atlanta had their time, has their time. And it's like, but Tulsa, you know, we got something to say. It's like a direct quote from, you know, Andre 3000 when he was saying at the hip hop, was it Source Awards? Source Awards.
95.
Yeah, so it's one of those where it's like, nah, we have a voice. We have a conglomerate of talented artists, of talented producers, of creators and thinkers.
Yes.
And we've been putting out good work. We've been standing on what we're doing. So this is what we got. And y'all gonna listen. You know what I
This is
mean?
our stamp.
Yeah, facts.
And I also would
Yeah.
say, like, you know, Atlanta, like Tulsa, Atlanta is only Atlanta because of the massacre, in my opinion. Like, Tulsa would have been what Atlanta is if it
Wow.
wasn't because of this situation. Because you got to think a lot of those folks,
Right.
like, dispersed and went
Yes.
to Georgia. So, like, it's not a knock to Atlanta by any means,
No.
but it really is just like,
No.
hey, we are reclaiming everything that was taken from us.
Right.
And, like, we truly have something to say.
Yeah.
We're from the South, too. We have something to say. But, yeah, like, I just want to give, like, historical context around that, too.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it because I feel like this has a chance to redefine what it means to be the Tulsa sound. And like you said in an interview, God's gumbo, and I love that phrase. I'm serious. I'm gonna like
Say it again?
email
For
God's
sure.
gumbo.
Yeah.
The Tulsa sound is God's gumbo. Like
Yeah. We in the middle of.
I'm gonna use that.
Go ahead.
I'm
go
gonna
ahead,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
use it. I'm telling everyone now. We're God's gumbo. Whenever everybody says what the Tulsa sound is, I'm like,
sure.
we're all God's gumbo
For
now.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think it was just mixing every person in that room, in the building together. Like, once again, not even just the video side, the artist side, his team, every single person, even the journalists being involved, was part of this mission to push us forward. Like, to come together with all of our talents and skills and say, hey, we got something special. We got something we're going to show you, and you will listen to us.
Yes.
And I even think with the gumbo, it's like normally it's one person putting these ingredients in, and it's like
No.
I'm only one piece of
Right.
this. Sneak is a piece,
Yeah.
and everybody's saying like jump in the pot like, at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna stare together. So like it's definitely something special for sure.
It was collaborations that might have never been sparked.
Right.
You know, relationships. I think that's a big factor that happened over the weekend was the relationship between Oklahoma City artists and Tulsa artists, and finding out, well, my sound with your sound is like, you know, creating this recipe. So
Yeah.
that's probably, I think, that the hidden story of that whole weekend.
Just
You know
the
what I mean?
mixing of elements that would never have
Yeah.
been mixed before.
Absolutely,
Up until
absolutely.
this. That's awesome. So, Benjamin, you've got all the footage recorded. We've got the audio all recorded. Now we're in post. We're
Yep.
in post-production, which currently still are to some degree.
Yeah, we're
correct?
at the finish line right now.
We're at the finish line.
Yep.
So how do you take all of that and condense it and say, this is the story we're going to tell with this documentary? This is the story that, like, how does that happen for you?
For me, I just try to get everything organized first, and that's where I'll spend a little bit more time. It's like, all right, let's get all this stuff organized. We had over 80 hours of footage, and this weekend was long. So it's just like, all right, how do we pinpoint every single person that we need to put into this documentary? And for me, I had multiple stories that I was trying to take this documentary. I mean, we had the history that we had hit on a little bit of what was 1921 back then, which some people still don't even know the history of.
Right.
We have the music side of it. We also have what's present. What are we doing today in Tulsa?
Yes.
And so for me, I tried to put something together, and it was like, it didn't really hit the mark. But I felt like...
And we're back.
We're back. Okay, part 3.
Part 3. We literally had
Part 3.
a breaker.
We had a whole power
surge.
Like, it literally went dark.
It went dark.
The light came back.
Legitimately.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're here. So, Sneak, we were in the middle. You were explaining the story in the editing process.
Yes.
So,
I mean, after like viewing, it took like maybe 2 or 3 weeks to even like look at all the footage, and then it's like, okay, what does my intuition tell me? It was like a few shots that I know I already highlighted, like, oh, this has to be in there. But it was like, as far as the story is like, you have to be real delicate with it. It's like, I want to hold people's attention. I understand how valuable the first minute, 2 minutes is of anything. And it was like, okay, I want to do something that showcases the artist, but it isn't like, here's this artist, here's your bio. I wanted to do it where it showcases the essence of the artist and the essence of the music that they were creating and that collaboration process. So it really kind of turned into like this dope, like View even said it, he's like, I was like a DJ, because it was the way transitions come. And
that's a cool way of putting it.
Yeah, it's just like, because the music is such a big element in this, where it was like, well, the music is just as important as the footage. So playing with the emotions and switching of moods with certain beats, or having instrumentals play under certain interviews, just gave it a different tone.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to bore people with a bunch of like historical facts, and really show like, look, we're Black Wall Street here, and this is what it looks like today. And everybody in this room is entrepreneurs. They're artists of high caliber and very serious about their craft, and you're getting to watch them create. So a lot of it is just, some of it even raw conversation between like stuff that, you know, you wouldn't think, oh wow, rappers are talking about this. Like, yeah, they are. So it was really capturing the essence of that energy, and I think we did a great job doing that. And it took a collaborative process. I know that coming up with the ending was tough, and that's where we brought Paid back in, and Paid helped us really solidify that ending for us to where we got a product that we're just really happy with.
I'm so excited to see this, but guys, we can't see it yet. But we have
Coming soon.
we have a teaser trailer, y'all. So let's play that.
All right, let Amira get ready.
Do I need to?
No, you're good.
Okay, I'm good.
I'm coming. Here we go.
We're gonna play it.
I gotta watch it.
Hip hop is powerful. There's no medium that is stronger than music. Not books, not movies. It's music.
We don't expect no sympathy for y'all to fuck with us because we telling this story. We gonna make some dope shit.
All the time. Yeah, it took on the years, but we here.
Like, I ain't never even heard of a state releasing a compilation album about a historical topic and bangers being part of that. Like, that's just weird.
Look, I took that walk and got my mind right. Yeah, looked at the clock and saved the time right. Yeah. And we all over the world, man. Yeah. This ain't just no local shit, man. We trapping all over the world, man. Ticket sales, Seoul, Berlin, You know what I'm saying? Madrid, Barcelona, all over the world to Oklahoma, man.
It is all of Tulsa's amazing talent in one space at one time. How do you not? Like, how is it not great?
Basically, we're creating a Black Wall Street, but with music. So we're creating like a whole new revolution of like music, and we're making history with it. So.
To be young and free, with life ahead of me.
Oh man, amazing, man. This is like hot, fresh dopeness, you know what I'm saying? For real.
Every time I'm out of town and they like, where you from? From Tulsa. But the love, the amount of love that we get based off the history here is overwhelming for me. So I think this is right on time.
Just seeing people in their creative element, like rolling in and out of rooms, leaning in like, hey, y'all got a verse for that? And like just ready to hop on tracks. Like people were much more hyped, but the history, like understanding the history behind the mansion and where it came from and what had happened, and just seeing that turning point, you know, a Black football player from Tulsa to buy that crib and turn it into this.
It's like we reclaiming everything that was supposed to be ours, like for generations to come. Like we coming back for all that shit. So like this is just a call to the world, like don't fuck with Greenwood.
I just wanna make you see that I wanna get right back where we were.
All right. Amazing.
Yeah, that was a trailer.
Absolutely.
No, I'm joking. That was a really good trailer, though. Like even like watching it again, I was like,
I
oh.
didn't hear your joke. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you can. I was like, yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
You can hear the music playing through. We've seen this thing so many times.
Yeah.
I'm so excited, guys.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited for you guys and what this means for Black Wall Street too.
Absolutely.
Like it's gonna be. I can't wait for people to find out the amazing talent that is in this city and in this state. So if you are like, hey, how do I keep track of this project? How do I support it? There is Instagram. We got Instagram handle. Let's do the Instagram down here. We've got a website where you can get some of this dope merch that we're all wearing today.
Dope
merch. Is that okay? Can I say dope?
Yeah, you can say
Okay,
dope.
say dope. Okay. All right. It's dope merch. Like, and it's also available at Silhouette too, which
Absolutely. Shout out Coop.
Yep.
out Coop.
Shout out to Coop.
She's got
Coop.
she's got the merch. FireLightAfrica.com has the merch. You can check out all the artists that are listed on there. You can check out some more of the story, and also Facebook. There's a Facebook handle. Do we have a Facebook handle? Did you do that already? Okay.
And
So-
podcast too.
And podcast. That's right. The podcast, and that's on Spotify and
It's on everything.
anything. So then the podcast actually goes through all the different artists that were a part of it, and then some, because you got like you
some-
interviewed
Shout out
Greg
Greg
Robinson, you
Tiffany
interviewed
Crutcher.
right
like
Kojo.
Kojo,
Yes.
yeah.
So
Really great,
you got
really great.
there's it's
That's
a
the
well
That's the Black Wall Street way.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So before we close this out, I just want to ask each of one of you, what does Black Wall Street mean to you? Because I feel like it's not just a location, right? This is more than just a location. This is about community, and this is about a mindset. So Dr. Vio.
Black Wall Street means accountability, and regardless of power, like it's just accountability. There's a lot that's going on. Shout out to Pod for Good podcast. I was very like adamant about like holding people accountable for this commemoration of,
Right.
of 1921. We have a real opportunity to like reshape and reignite a lot of things that are happening in society, not just Tulsa. And I think Black Wall Street is a prime example of talking to the local issues, but also nationally, and also recognizing that there's Black Wall Streets around the world. When I think of Ferguson, when I think of Oakland, when I think of New Orleans, when I think of Atlanta, when I think of Miami, when I think of all of my Caribbean brothers and sisters in South America, like this is a Black Wall Street album that's going to speak to so many different people. But to do that in the right way, people have to stay in their lane and have to understand, like, it's not about Dr. View, it's not about Sneak, it's not about Ben, it's not about Sundance. Like this, we're absolutely grateful to be a part of this, but even if we weren't a part of it, the work will still will get done. So it's just about how do we hold everyone's feet to the fire and make sure that we are truly commemorating the ancestors that didn't get a chance to speak, but also how can we reimagine 100 years later. I have a 3-year-old son who's probably watching this right now, and he has no idea what's happening. And it's like, we are living ancestors, so what legacy do we want to leave? And to do it the right way, we all got to hold ourselves accountable and get our egos and the powers that be out of the way. That's what it means to me.
Amen. Sneak.
That was a great answer. Black Wall Street means progression. It stands for Black entrepreneurship. It stands for collaboration. It stands for progression towards the future. I think it's a mentality. It's a mindset. It's more than a street. It's more than a location. It's something we can take with us, like you said, anywhere we go. When I was in Seattle, it was something I took with me. It's a way of living, of knowing that I got your back, you got my back, of brotherhood, of sisterhood, of love and creativity. I think Black Wall Street represents the heart and the soul of love, honestly, and it's the blueprint. It's truly the blueprint, and we are, foundation of that blueprint. So we take it everywhere we go.
Hey, all great answers, and I think I'm gonna have a bunch of all of that. Black Wall Street means to me is letting go of the ego. I think it's finding a place where you fit into this community, and how can we all grow? How can we all grow? Not just me, but how can we all put something together? Because I think what we've even created, we've never really had any relationship outside of this project. No prior relationships, anything like that. So this is our first time ever getting to know each other, work with each other, but we come together to make this project excellent and refine our own lane and stick in it, because we're here to make everybody great. Not just me, everybody. So how can I find my place in this community amongst our community that we have as Black Wall Street and the people that we live around, we surround ourselves with, and say, hey, like, maybe this is not all my plan, but you know what? It goes for the greater good of all of us. It pushes us further as a team versus just one person. Right. And now we have so much more power in plenty, in multiple, instead of just oneself.
Yeah, the power of unity, pushing it all, pushing the message forward.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Well, guys, thank you so much for sharing about this project. Thank you so much for doing this project.
Yeah.
Because, this, we need this. The world needs this.
The world does need it.
100%.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, y'all, if you want to, again, more information, you can follow them on Instagram, Facebook. You can buy merch on the website or at Silhouette. Always should visit Silhouette anyways, so, might as well take a...
And if you don't want to get the merch, I mean, obviously it's out there. We got a donate page.
Oh, yes, there's a donate page on the website.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, yeah, we take it all.
And there's a
take it all.
Share, follow.
Yeah,
all
you
the
can
things.
share, follow.
Comment.
Those are free things to do.
And again, shout out to Sneak, Ben, Pade, Chris, Williams, and the rest of the executive team, Dial Tone, St. Dominic's, Steph Simon, Chris Davis. It's just been a true collaborative project, and big shout out to, again, Woody Guthrie, Bob Dylan Center, to even allowing us to make this happen on this type of scale. So
This is going to be great. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining Coffee with Casey at Circle Cinema at Sundance Film Festival 2021. My name is Casii Stephan.
Casey, are you not going to do your last song?
I wasn't planning on it. I thought we were done. Oh, you want me to do one more song?
Yeah, I think it's very fitting. I'm sorry, but it's very fitting. Good for one song? Chuck, you good? Okay.
Yeah, I could freestyle if you want. But I'm just joking.
I mean, you ready?
You ready?
Hey.
Sundance. I'm going to make Sundance.
No, this is just a very fitting song. I mean, this is a powerful song that you wrote. Yeah. We released it in 2020. It was incredibly relevant to 2020 and community, and how there's hope in community, and sometimes there's not hope when you feel all alone. So this is a very, I think, a poignant song.
Well, thank you. I'm not always but thank
I know,
you. All right,
but-
we're going to wrap it up with Trapeze Artist. Thank you again for tuning in. Yeah, have a good rest of your Saturday, y'all. Here we go. This is Trapeze Artist. My heart is like a trapeze artist, balancing it all between the painful cries, the fearful eyes, and the promise of a gentle sigh. One day you see the good that could be done by us all, and then the next you see the tyranny of hate that keeps building up our walls. So I keep hoping for tomorrow, if tomorrow exists at all. I keep hoping for love, though this love has let me fall. I keep hoping that maybe these times will finally change. But with all this hoping, I wonder if it's still worth it to hope at all. And please tell me this gets easier, not seeing beyond the curve to a future that might hold more promise, or a destiny that burns. 'Cause there's arms that hit, and there's hands that hold, and there's hearts that judge, and there's eyes with soul, and we're all just lost in a forest of our own. And I keep hoping for tomorrow, if tomorrow exists at all. I keep hoping for love, though this love has let me fall. I keep hoping that maybe these times are gonna change. But with all this hoping, I wonder if it's still worth it to hope at all. And so please be patient, please be kind, please don't ever cross that line. Please bite your tongue, don't say that word. We're all just wanderers in this world. And if you happen to look around and see the faces in the crowd, just know love don't grow alone. So I keep hoping for tomorrow, if tomorrow exists at all. I keep hoping for love, though this love has let me fall. I keep hoping that maybe these times are gonna change. But with all this hoping, I wonder if it's still worth it to hope at all. And thank you all for tuning in. Have a wonderful Saturday. And yeah, let's just keep hoping for a better world, y'all. 2021. Mwah.